Hello? I'm just gonna wait here for a while until some more people get here. If you're here, you can say hi in the chat room since this viewer list is laggy. Hello. Yeah, just give me a second. Okay, so just a few people, which is fine. So for the people watching the Let's Play, this is a part 5, and I finished the Blue Cliff dungeon and the first dungeon, and now I'm going through here. I just got the Widen upgrade. And this is for the sort of Anodyne anniversary. 1 second. Okay, so right, back to playing the game. Sorry. Okay. So I don't remember if I got there's a card here we need to get, and I don't remember if I actually got it or not. So we're about to find that out. Yeah, and if you're in the chat room, go and retweet this or something, or tweet about it. It's more fun when there's more people watching, I suppose. Okay, I guess let's go all the way around. Yeah, so this is just open to questions, and I guess something Let's Play must talk about stuff, right? Because we made this game. So this area, the red, like, sort of sea place, it was kind of envisioned very early on a plane ride, actually, before John came on board. But, you know, over time we iterated on the original idea and kind of came to this. John did the final tiling of everything. So yeah, we just got into the second dungeon. And I will play through this, just 1 second. Okay. Right, so what we had on the idea of sort of this dungeon, I believe, was sort of, I think, the general, sort of fear of physical harm or being hurt, and kind of how we may want to, you know, stay inside more than, risk going outside and doing things. Just in general, just kind of, just the idea of bodily harm. So these tentacles were sort of a pain in the ass to program, I guess, because I didn't really give a good, easy way to freeze the player. And so, like, at one point, like, you could walk during the cutscene. Sometimes people would walk out of the room, and before the tentacles went all the way down, they'd be confused because the other part of the dungeon wouldn't open up. Hello, DJ Shadow. You said your real name once, and I already forgot. But so, oh well. Yeah, so the area outside of this, it was called Red Sea, and initially it was, I'm kind of thinking of it as kind of this like underwater forest, but not really. By that I mean like there's very tall like tree structures and stuff like that. So there are trees now, but I think sort of the idea I had didn't really work well with this kind of perspective, because it kind of involves like pillars going all the way to the ceiling, but it still works pretty well. And my wrists really hurt from sitting in this position, which is bad. Yeah, so something I realized early on is that it might be a little bit weird that people can just return to the entrance of the dungeon, sort of without, I guess, doing anything, by just going to the menu. But I don't know. I can't remember why we decided on that, but it was just a friendly thing to do, I guess. I don't know. Alex asks, is there any way to get my PC save to the Android build? The answer is no, unless you've rooted the game, unfortunately. Because for whatever reason, I don't know, something I wrote with the save code being like messed up is, well, that's unfortunate. Why did I not? Okay. The saves, they're not incompatible, but Adobe Air, it's for some reason like needs root permission to save, and it saves it into like a root directory. So, oh, it's rooted. Okay, if it's rooted, you should be able to just search for it. It's like it's a .sol file, .sol. I'll just type it. It's like .sol file. So if you search for that on your file system with whatever file system explorer you use, you should be able to find it. I can look up the exact name some other time, but yeah. Yeah, and so this is dungeon. This is where the sort of raft idea came from. First. Oh, okay, I see. And the raft. I guess I kind of like. Not sure what I'm trying to say about the raft. I guess it doesn't really make any sense that that you can step on some dust and then it just works. It's kind of weird, I guess. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to get at here. Just talking. One thing that was really annoying was programming the dust, because so when you go into a room in the game, there's a little bit of XML associated with that room, and that tells the game what enemies to load, and so you kind of have to like craft the dust out of that one room's like loaded entities in order to move the dust between rooms via the raft. And so that led to a lot of really awful bugs that were fixed right before development was finished, or before release, I suppose. So that's a nightmare I don't really like to think about. As was making the map loading even work was a really big hassle. Well, not map loading work, making sort of these cutscenes work. So whenever you see one of those little thing where the view kind of cuts to outside with the stuff rising out of the ground, that is actually just like freeze the game and then like load up the tile map in that other location, and then also the entities that are there, and kind of animate them, and all around is just a pain in the ass. So I kind of like to avoid using cutscenes whenever I can with games. I think generally if you are avoiding cutscenes, then Jesus. I can't even this room right. I can't think. If you're, I don't know. They're sometimes not always necessary. I mean, I guess I could have accomplished it with just like a text box, rather than programming and all this extra work. But I mean, too late now. So, what are we looking at for time? 15 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna tweet one more time. A second. tells me. Object collision is... question is object collision part of the Flixel framework? Yeah, it is. It's really boring code to write, at least in my opinion. So I'm glad it does that all for you. And basically what it just does is it kind of... If the game detects motion between frames that you intersect with another object, then you can separate them. It also has a collision resolution, which will change velocities if you so desire, I suppose. Yeah, so a big thing with this dungeon was kind of the idea of exploring separate places. And so I wanted it to be sort of like you have to go out back into the normal world to go in between the dungeons of this area. And I guess I wish I could have done it on a more cooler scale other than just walking a few screens to get to the other part, but I mean, I still sort of executed my idea semi-well, I guess. I don't know, I think it's just neat when the concept you have of a dungeon is sort of being this one completely connected thing, is connected by moments of not being inside of the dungeon. Okay, so we finished the first 3 parts of the Red Cave dungeon, and now we're back out here and going to defeat the boss. Okay. So what I'm happy with this set of rooms is kind of the style of just being very like water-based and sort of lake-like. I don't think it's a very fun set of maps, but it's certainly different, so I guess that's a good part. And these guys. There's just like little irritating things that I guess you learn about with games and programming, like those little guys that shoot out bullets in 4 directions are kind of... I find them a little irritating because, well, irritating the program because you have to kind of like draw them in the right position. And, I mean, I guess once you get it right, it works fine, but, yeah, and so these are the guys. It's kind of touching on what I was talking about earlier with kind of the fear of like going outside. Do I have names for everything in the game? Yeah, I do. So I don't remember. I think this guy was just called like Red Boss, something really awful, like lame name. And okay, that was a hassle to program, the little like flying out of the water. But it's kind of cool, right? Maybe, I don't know. But I mean, this boss is so easy. So remember when John was saying that all I was doing was saying everything was dumb, which isn't. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I like the little screen effect. I'm kind of glad at how this dungeon is made. So you know, I don't think everything's miserable about it. But okay, great. Question from the audience is, how did you do the earthquake effect? So that is done. Oh, she's not even looking at me. And that was just kind of touching on how superficial sometimes. Not superficial, but how sort of cliche. I think that some of these, yeah, and so lampshaded. Kind of getting at the idea that sage is not actually sage, I suppose. And so that was the second dungeon. So that means we finished the first 3 dungeons, and we can go on to the windmill area to unlock the last 3 dungeons. So the earthquake effect. So what is happening with the earthquake effect is that so with Flixel, since you're rendering everything to 1 frame buffer or 1 like bitmap object, what you can do is you can actually sort of take that before everything's drawn to the screen and edit it. And so all you do there is you take like chunks of 5 rows of the screen buffer, and then you shift it left or right so many pixels, and then you kind of just change what rows get shifted over some period of time, and that's how you get that sort of sine wave effect. It's really, really, really slow to do with software rendering. It's a lot of memory accesses and writes and whatever, and done through Flash, it's even slower. But I don't know. Is there a way to do it with shaders to make it really fast? I'm not sure. I think it might be harder. Like a rand function. No, it's not random. It's Oh wait, are you asking when the screen shakes, or when the screen does that little wavy effect? Okay, I've forgotten how to get here. I think I'm going the right way. John made this area, so I don't remember exactly how to get around. If it's the screen shake effect, then that's just taking the screen buffer and redrawing it in a slightly different position randomly. But that's built into Flixel, but it's pretty easy to do on your own, I think. Okay. Faded. Here we are. This is one of my favorite areas in the game because a lot of things came together really well, like the rain effect. The animated puddles are really nice, and they all really kind of get at this sort of change that Young goes through in this area, I think. Yeah, and towers, and partners, relationships, etc. I don't know, the reflections are kind of a pain to program, but they're nice, so I mean, I'm glad I did it. So I'm just gonna sit here for a second, and you guys can take in the ambience. Oh, I guess I can't go out of it, so I'm just gonna stand here for a bit. So here's the longest cutscene in the game. There's so much nightmare to make this work and test it. timing the sound effects too. They're not even timed right. But yeah, I really like this. Yeah, so if you're new and you haven't yet, you can tweet about it. I guess the reason we got so many viewers last time was because Ryan, or Northern Lion, and Josh Smith talked about it, or they tweeted about it. So I'm just gonna let the song finish. Okay, actually, the song, it ends pretty quietly. So we have a few choices where to go next. We can go to the sort of this dark, scary place, a really weird cavern, or the hotel. I like the hotel the most, so I think we'll go there. Right. Oops. Okay, so it'll probably be faster if I just take the windmill. Take this. Okay. Oh wait, I forgot the stupid. I got that stupid card. Wow, look at me! I called the card stupid. Okay. Okay. I don't even know what to talk about for Let's Play. So the hotel dungeon. So I came here in a previous video because we did a sequence break. But, so now we're gonna finish it. I gotta find a key. But I don't remember where the key is. So this is the problem. Oh, it's over to the right. Okay, right, I made this, so I should remember. But it was so long ago. I think I made this in, like, August 2012. I think that's a really long time ago. And so what's nice about working with John is that, like, he magically, like, figured out what I was thinking somehow with what I wanted the dungeon to look like. I was like, yeah, this dungeon is kind of falling apart, and it has, like 4 floors, and it's, like, degraded and stuff. And, oh, thank you for saying the mechanics are incredible. I really appreciate that. Especially because I'm very self-deprecating with talking about these. The funny thing with this room is that you can actually hold the dust and fall in a hole and you'll still have it after you fall out, so you don't have to actually leave the room and come back in. Fuck. My arms really hurt. Got the key. Also, this is one of my favorite songs and, like, also one of my least favorite songs. The song's time signature is, like, it's like 6/16, 4/16. Or you could say 6/8, 4/8 if you wanted to, but I feel like they're more like 16th notes to me. At least that's how I think about it when I'm writing it. So it's kind of like 2 triplets and then 1 duplet, but they're with the same length notes. And that's what gives it sort of this, like, upbeat feel. One of the most fun ones to write, because it sort of has this, yeah, this little, like, guitar. It's the way the song progresses. I really like. Fuck. One floor. I really like it because it starts with just the drums, right? And you bring in, like, sort of the bass line, and it brings in this little mysterious melody, and then it dies down a bit, brings back in these guitars, and then kind of goes into the solo section, which ends the song. And I don't know, I'm pretty happy with it. As I talked about in the earlier stream 2 days ago, is that I'm sort of sad that I don't have the opportunities to write these sort of songs for Even the Ocean, because that game's much more, I don't know, like laid back and kind of like ambience and nature-like, I guess. 1 second, I'm gonna pause the stream to start the next part of the LP. So if you're watching, thanks for watching this part, and I'm gonna start the next part in a second.